time, let him give you some. Take my hand and let it come, let it come, let it take you back when she knows that you're doing it right.
Hey, what up guys? This is Nex. I'm going to show you how to set up your source hammer editor for Trouble in Terrorist Town the first time. Not a lot of people have figured this out yet, so I figured I'd go ahead and make a quick guide. It's not that hard once you get it down, and these same steps can be applied to any source engine game. So go ahead and get started. First thing you're going to do is up here you go to Tools, and you want to download the Source SDK. I already have it downloaded, so it is right here. You can go ahead and download the Source SDK bases if you need. They are basically the extra textures and materials models from different games. If you already have, say, Counter-Strike, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, those kind of games, you will probably already have everything included in them, so you don't really need them. And the engine that most multiplayer games are working on now is actually a new engine, the Source MP engine. So these two applications are pretty much obsolete at this point. So go ahead and open up your Source SDK. My computer sucks. And there we go, we have Source SDK open. Now, as you can see, I already have mine set to TTT. When you first load this up, it'll most likely be set to Source Engine 2006. You want to go ahead and select Source MP. And what you want to do is go here and double click on Edit Game Configurations. You want to go to Add. Name your new configuration, Trouble in Terrorist Town, TTT, or whatever the mod in question is you're working with. Oh, by the way, for the other games, such as Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, Counter-Strike, you'll most likely have to do this too. It will have a game configuration already set up. However, it will most likely be under the Source 2006 or 2009 engine, which will no longer work. You will run into many, many problems, and you still will end up needing to do these steps. So for here, you're going to go to Directory and click Browse. Go into your Steam folder, and you basically want to select the engine, the game base folder for the game that you'll be working with. So since I'm doing Trouble in Terrorist Town here, while technically it's Gary's mod, I'm actually going to select the Counter-Strike Source folder because Counter-Strike Source is a requirement to play Trouble in Terrorist Town. So basically that will do is that'll set us up with the Counter-Strike materials and the Counter-Strike models, which are the only things you can be sure that anybody playing Trouble in Terrorist Town will already have. We'll have to go in and change some settings to get it working with Gary's mod, but it's really not that much more effort. So I go to Steam. If I can find it here, Steam Apps, your username, and Counter-Strike Source. And inside the base Counter-Strike Source folder, what you want to do is you want to select C-Strike. Now, if this was, say, Gary's mod, you would select the Gary's mod folder, the second one. If it was Half-Life 2 Deathmatch, you would select HL2MP, and so on for whatever mod it is you're working for. So I'm going to go ahead and select C-Strike. Hit OK, hit OK, and you want to close and reopen your Source SDK. All right, back here, your new game mode, your new game configuration should be selected. So now we'll go ahead and run Hammer Editor. go to Tools, Options. Right here under the first tab, what you want to do is you want to select this file right here. Go ahead and click Remove and click Add. It'll start you off in your source SDK directory. For any of your base game types, Half-Life 2 Deathmatch or Portal, Team Fortress, Counter-Strike, you want to select whatever file in this folder is appropriate for the game that you'll be working in. However, since we are working in TTT, it is not a non-standard source engine game, and so we have to use a custom.fgd file, which is fortunately included within the game mode with Gary's Mod. So you want to go back to your Steam apps and go into Gary's Mod, and you want to go down to Game Modes, Terratown, and ttt.fgd. Basically, this is a list of all the entities that the game uses. You know, doors, an entity is anything that does anything within the game, basically. Anything with any sort of dynamic element is an entity. And this is what defines them all for Hammer to use. So go ahead and double-click that. All this you can pretty much leave the same. Down here at Game Executable directory, we don't want this to be Counter-Strike source since TTT is still a Gary's Mod game mode. We want everything to be ran in Gary's mode and everything, or Gary's Mod, have everything set to the Gary's Mod executables and exes. So go ahead, click here, click Browse. Go to, once again, your Steam apps directory, Gary's Mod folder. And that would be Gary's Mod, that same folder from before. Actually, okay, I'm sorry. That's actually the first Gary's Mod folder for the game executable. I'm just going to go ahead and edit it right here. You can also just type that in. It might actually be quicker, which I will do here. In the second path, this would be the second Gary's Mod folder. And the Hammer VMF directory. You can go ahead and leave that there if you want, or you can change it. That's basically where Hammer will save your VMF files, your in-work map files by default. I usually save them somewhere else. You can set that to whatever you want. Now you want to go over here to Build Programs. Under Game Executable, you want to hit Browse. Go back to your Steam apps, Gary's Mod. And my Gary's Mod is actually broken at the moment, but it would be here in that first Gary's Mod folder. You go ahead and select the Half-Life 2.exe. BSP executable, leave everything here the same, and place compiled maps in directory. You want to go ahead and set this to your Gary's Mod maps directory inside the second Gary's Mod folder in Steam apps. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. And maps. Go ahead and hit OK. OK. Go ahead and restart Hammer. And there we go. We're good to go. When you see the grid on the three 2D views, that means you did it right. When you're using the wrong engine or you have things set up wrong, this grid will not show up. You'll just have three black squares, and every time you try to build something, it will error out terribly. So once you see this grid here, looking as it should, then you'll know you're done. All right, that's it. Next tutorial will be on the basics of Hammer, the layout, and how to start mapping.